Hi, I'm Gardener Scott. Garlic is one of the easiest plants to grow in your garden, and harvesting it can be just as easy. Join me as I show you how I harvest garlic. In colder climates, garlic typically goes in the ground in fall, and then it's ready to harvest in midsummer. It's that easy. As long as you water it and mulch it along the way, it actually requires very little care. There are two types of garlic, hardneck garlics and softneck garlics. And each type of plant will basically tell you when it's time to harvest. The hardneck garlic varieties will send up a scape about a month before it's time to harvest. The scape starts off as a curlicue and then straightens out. By the time it gets fully straight, that's about the time you should start looking to see if it's time to harvest that hardneck garlic. With the scape fully erect, start looking at the leaves, and as soon as you see the outer 2 or 3 leaves turning brown, it's time to harvest the hardneck garlic. Softneck garlic is a lot like growing onions. When you see most of the leaves start to turn brown and the plant topples to the ground, that's a good indication that it's time to harvest the softneck varieties. In this bed, I'm growing 3 different types of garlic, 2 hardneck varieties and a softneck variety. For the hardnecks, the scapes are fully erect. The leaves are starting to die on the outside. For the softneck variety, they've toppled to the ground. So this whole bed of garlic is ready to harvest. If you're uncertain about how many leaves have died, or you're uncomfortable just relying on the leaves, you can always dig up some of the bulbs as a test. If the bulb is fully formed, it's ready to harvest. After looking at the leaves and doing a test dig, I determined that this bed was ready to harvest about a week ago. So I withheld the water to actually allow the bulbs and the soil to dry out a little bit, so that when I harvested, it wasn't too soggy. Soggy bulbs really don't harvest well, and typically they won't store as well either. Depending on the size of your bed, you can continue harvesting by hand with a trowel, or to make things a little bit faster, use a spade or a garden fork. Now, either way, with a spade or a garden fork, do be careful where you push the blade into the ground, because it's easy to slice or damage the bulbs in the process. So I'll just go into the ground, lift up, then after it's out of the ground, I'll remove the bulbs. You don't want to just yank the bulbs from the soil without loosening the ground first. That can cause damage in the bulbs. Continue moving through the bed, loosening the soil, and removing the bulbs very carefully, and then just placing them off to the side. As you give a tug, if you notice that it doesn't come out of the ground easily, then loosen the soil again. Remove the bulb. If there's a lot of dirt around it, just knock off the dirt and then place it to the side. After you've dug up all of your garlic, it's time to cure the bulbs. Curing allows the paper that wraps the individual cloves to harden and dry, and actually allows for longer storage time. If your climate and weather allows, one good option is to lay the garlic on the ground exactly where you harvested and give it 2 or 3 days in the sun to dry out before you move it inside and start cleaning and storing it. You really don't want to clean off all the dirt around the roots until it's had a little bit of time to cure. My weather forecast is calling for rain later today and for the next 3 days. So I'm going to opt not to leave this garlic on the ground to cure. Instead, I'll take it inside, lay it out on newspaper, achieve the same effect, but it won't get rained on. After it's out of the ground, if it gets rained on and gets soggy, it's really going to be worthless. So you want to keep it dry from this point forward until you use it. After curing for a few days, the garlic can be cleaned up and stored for months to come, and then used however you like to use garlic in your kitchen. I'll save some of these bulbs to put back in the ground in a few months and start the process all over again. There you have it, how to harvest garlic. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know below. If you haven't subscribed to the Gardener Scott channel, you can do so now. If you like the video, you can give me a thumbs up and share it. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.